So if we're in constant communication with our clients, if they could take that best practices that we know in that communication and be able to help show their consumers that the packages may be 1 or 2 days late than normal, then we could be able to create a great experience for these potentially new consumers that are being rushed into the market to be repeat customers.
Welcome to the Winning E-commerce Experience Show, where it's all about creating a brand that your customers love so they keep coming back. This show is brought to you by DataCue. Your store experience begins with your homepage. DataCue improves your conversion rate up to 30% by showing each visitor a personalized homepage based on their interest. And now, your host, Shahram Anver.
Hey everyone, our guest today is the founder and CEO of Perishable Shipping Solutions. They help their customers ship frozen and refrigerated food. Dany Catullo, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
By the way, I hope I got your name right. It's Catullo, right?
You did perfect.
Amazing.
Better than most people. I was excited. Yeah.
So tell us, I think, especially with anyone who's been paying attention on the podcast, we've done a lot of episodes of, and it's a bit more like doom and gloom of people having significant issues with demand. But Dany, I think you guys are having the complete opposite, given that you guys are in food and things are sort of exploding right now. Do you want to just first tell us a little bit about why you started Go Perishable, and then just talk us through what's going on?
Sure. So I was a third generation butcher shop owner after I graduated from Ohio State, and I took our company online about 15 years ago. So I like to say that we were doing perishables online before it was cool. Mm-hmm. And I got an opportunity. I was lucky enough to win FedEx's small business grant. Mm-hmm. I filmed a commercial with them. I went on a little tour speaking about perishables for e-commerce and talking about the logistical problem of keeping things cold for 48 to 54 hours. Mm-hmm. That opportunity started really showing me the hole in the market, which was expert advice to help other small and mid-sized brands get their product around the country for direct to consumer. Right. And so saw the hole in the market, had a co-founder that also saw it from the of the month clubs point of view, where they had a lot of perishable clubs that they were shipping out. And my co-founder Ruben and I saw the problem, decided to start a company to be able to help others get their product throughout the country. So we have been shipping for our companies for the last 3 years. The business has been growing rapidly, 3x every year. Wow. But what's happened with the virus has been unprecedented, which has been, I think, the most common word being said right now, unfortunately, in the country, is unprecedented times. We are experiencing Black Friday through Cyber Monday for each of the brands that we ship for. So we have companies that are doing chocolates or pies, energy shots, ice cream. We're seeing everything from comfort foods to extremely high quality to extremely expensive to, more nuts and bolts like ground meat and chicken breasts. No matter what the product is or what company we ship for, we're seeing this extremely high demand for people to buy products online and have it shipped directly to their house.
Wow. I mean, how much sleep are you averaging right now, and how much hair do you still have?
I am lucky enough to have some hair left, but it is, it's one of those interesting times where we are not only one of the, let's call it 10% essential businesses out there in America that is still running, mm-hmm. but we are also in the 1% of businesses that are rapidly growing. And so it's been a challenge because we are dealing with an unknown. And mm-hmm. so we are trying to decide how much staff to bring in, what is the volume actually going to settle when it's over, how long is this going to last? And so it's been a unique challenge. I run the operation, And I handle both customer success with our managers and also the back of the house, which is actually getting the packages out. And it's been a unique situation to try to be able to handle all the demand and understand where it's going to go after it's over. Because I'm getting a feeling that consumer behavior is going to start changing.
Yes.
We started the business because we believed that the perishables were going to be the next new thing on the internet. Shoes. No one would have thought ever buying shoes before Zappos online. Now people are buying couches and chairs and things that before they had to go sit in, they had to touch and they had to feel. And now with reviews and with videos and all of the new ways that we could be able to have a better online experience, we believe that perishables were going to be that next new thing. What the virus has created was a new demand of consumers that otherwise felt uncomfortable buying food online that are now rushing online because they feel more uncomfortable going to a store.
Yeah, it sort of like accelerated a trend that we knew was happening anyway, right? I guess like everybody started off with buying things which I guess they could trust. So maybe it was like an airline ticket because it's like very sure that you do have a flight and you know what to expect. And then it just kept encroaching into new industries. And now this is sort of like put some fuel on a fire, so to speak, and just maybe done 5 years of change in like 3 months.
Exactly. And for us, you know, if we do our job right for our clients, we help them gain the consumer's trust. So it's really about communication. It's communication to our clients to let them know, hey, our normal service guide is up to 8 a.m. or up to 2 p.m. to ship out the package that day, but we're running a day behind because of this demand. And so they could be able to let the consumer know as well. So if we're in constant communication with our clients, which we have been, our clients, if they could take that best practices that we know and that communication and be able to help show their consumers that the packages may be 1 or 2 days late than normal, then we could be able to create a great experience for these potentially new consumers that are being rushed into the market to be repeat customers.
Sure. So, I mean, again, like going back to that point about how you guys are in a very different situation. Let's unpack that a little bit, because I think everybody else who's not in that 10% are really worried about customer acquisition. And I guess in your case, would it be right to say that you're not looking at that at all and you don't want any more new customers and you're really trying to figure out how to get your operations right for your existing customers? Or like, are you still looking at getting new customers?
Well, we're still a startup and we're still a small business, so we want both, right? We want to improve our operation and yeah, we want new. We also don't want to shut down the opportunity to get new clients as well. We feel like it's sort of a land grab. There's not many people that do what we do. That ship perishables for e-commerce. If you wanted to ship your chairs, like I mentioned before, your furniture, maybe your cell phone case, you could ship your product to Amazon and Amazon will ship it out for you. With perishables, Amazon currently doesn't have that capability for perishables. So if you wanted to ship and sell on Amazon, then you need to either do it yourself or use a place like us.
Right.
Yes. And so we have this high demand of clients that want to be on Amazon or are already on Amazon and want to do seller fulfilled Prime and be able to get that demand. And so we have this opportunity where we could start bringing not only people who are now that were shipping themselves and are seeing, 2 to 100x volume. And so now they need help. But also there are so many requests that are coming in from brands, small and mid-size, that are saying, oh my gosh, we weren't on e-commerce. What are we missing out on? Because they may be selling direct to retail or they may have this other business model and they're struggling with being able to actually get sales, like you said, new acquisition. And so we're another model for them to be able to go direct to the consumer.
So, I mean, absolutely, right? Like, I think there's no question that the amount of demand for your services has just skyrocketed. I think like what's got me curious is the fact that, just as you said, you're a small business. So obviously resources are limited. How are you guys thinking about that balance between customer acquisition and, making sure that all your existing customers are still not seeing too much of a reduction in their service level, right? Like how are you guys like thinking about it?
I think for us, like we had started this year, just as our business matured, understanding what challenges we had if we allowed our clients to be too complex. So let me make it, we always talk about ice cream here. So we all love
Right.
our ice cream and we love making the ice cream example.
Mm-hmm.
So if we allow you with your ice cream shop to ship 4 pints of ice cream, 6 pints of ice cream, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, if we allow you to sell as many pints as you want, we need to be prepared as a warehouse to do all of those solutions.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to know if that goes to one cooler, if that goes to size up, and each order could potentially look different.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing to help minimize risk of error and allow us to be able to take on more clients and be able to take on more packages are simplifying things. Just offer a 4, a 6, and a 12 pint on your website. If you
Right.
just offer those 3 options and also have your most popular variety pack online as the first product that you sell, it allows the complexity to go down. It allows us greater throughput because
Mm-hmm.
we're able to pack the boxes more like a Ford model of doing things in an assembly line.
Mm-hmm.
And really decreases the error percentage. So it's sort of a win-win for everybody. And it's something that we've seen just being in the business. When I first started up the business, we were allowing our clients to do whatever they wanted. I wanted to, achieve as many clients. I wanted to get acquisition. I wanted to understand the market. And as we matured, as I matured, as I understood what was actually happening, inside of the market, and also for us from the operational side, I realized that complexity caused potential problems. And the clients that were least complex were actually doing more business online
Sure.
than the ones that allowed the consumer to buy whatever they wanted.
Sure. Yeah, because it's the paradox of choice, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The best thing for us, I think, is like the best practice I would say to tell a client of ours would be the illusion of choice, similar to going to a Chipotle. It's you get four different types of meat. You could do 4 different types of rice. You could do it in a bowl, a taco, or whatever. In the end, it's not complex for Chipotle to be able to make all the variations because there's very few choices for each tier. And it's the same thing with going online. If you give an illusion of choice,
I love that.
you say you can choose your own, but here are the choices for you, then you are allowing your consumers to be able to fall into those buckets that you could be able to, again, accomplish correctly, quickly, and also efficiently.
Amazing. Like is there so basically what you're trying to do here, and I think it's genius, is that you're basically getting your customers a way to have sort of like a win-win where they reduce or simplify their product portfolio and they help you out. And at the same time, you're arguing to them that if they do that, they're also going to get more customers. I think that's brilliant.
Thank you. You know what? I think we're lucky to be able to we can help our consumers, we can help our clients understand consumer behavior with our data.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not sharing, specific client information, but we have an aggregate amount of data that says, if you offer a preset variety pack versus allowing your consumers to pick whatever they want, you are going to increase your sales by X amount if you follow the aggregate of our clients.
Right. Is there anything else so I'm sure you've got a lot of interesting data points, and somebody who's listening in who's basically in the food or perishable business and thinking, okay, like how do I improve my online presence? I think the first bit of advice is really clear: simplify your product portfolio, make it easy so that guys like you can ship it faster. Is there anything else that you've seen in the data that they should know or they should be thinking about?
Yeah, what's allowed us to grow is our locations in the country. Between our two locations using FedEx or UPS, we can get to 90 to 92% of the country within 1 to 2 days ground.
Okay.
And so we're able to minimize the cost of travel, transportation because of our locations. We think it's very expensive to be in 3 or 4 locations to be shipping out of because you have to manage your inventory. And so if you simplify your SKU structure, like you mentioned earlier, if you pick your 2 locations that are great to ship from, if you understand which locations in the country are cheaper to ship to and market to those locations, you can really drive down your costs as you are thinking about expanding your market.
So the keyword here seems to be focus, right? Just drill down to like a focus SKU, focus your locations, get your costs down, and that's basically the advice here, right?
Yeah, using the data to help drive decisions is something that we're trying in our company as we build our culture and grow our company. We're telling our people to make data-driven decisions, and that is definitely the best practice that we would give our clients too. There is a lot of data out there now. And so understanding that, for example, Austin, Texas, and Dallas and Houston are, to us, if you're shipping with us, that's a location that's 2 days away home delivery. So a fairly inexpensive place to ship to. Now, Denver, Colorado, based on where our warehouses are, is a little bit more expensive. So if you had $100 of marketing to spend, don't spend it on Colorado because your ROI is going to be less than if you spend it on Austin and Houston. Sure. And again, using our aggregate data, we could tell you if you're in the organic and natural foods category, that's a pretty hot space to be selling to. It's growing 1% from last year. It's about 9% of the country that's buying organic and natural foods based on our client data. So it's just understanding those numbers, I think, really help you to focus on your marketing spend and increase your ROI.
So I think like an interesting point that I was thinking about is that looking at your data, have you tried sort of like merging that with what you know about where the coronavirus is spreading the fastest in the US and see if that's sort of correlated with the demand? Because I'm assuming the more people in quarantine, the more they're going to be ordering food online, right? Have you seen anything like that?
So, I would say not necessarily specific to areas of the country or states, but more so in cities. So when San Francisco and New York City went on lockdown, and so, many people were not leaving their houses unless it was for an emergency trip to the grocery store, or if they were still, working in one of those businesses that are essential like ours. Those are locations that we ship to very quickly. And so our clients that are on Amazon, maybe doing 1 and 2 day Prime or a premium service. San Francisco, for example, is 1 day away from our Reno facility. So if you went online and you went onto one of our brands that we ship for on Amazon, up until 2 o'clock Eastern time, you would say, if I place the order today, it's going to arrive to me tomorrow. And so kudos to our brands that went on Amazon, saw, what we were seeing, which was there's a potential growth market here. They're on Amazon. Someone's looking for a product that they never looked for online before, and they're going to see that it's going to arrive to them tomorrow. And by using us and our location, we're doing it as inexpensive as any other thing that we do. It's just a home delivery package that we need to ship by 2 o'clock for them.
Amazing. I think one of the other problems which people in the high demand space are having is that with this virus, supply chains have basically broken down, right? Like I think, especially internationally, like borders are closing, things like that. Have you seen any impact on that at all in the essentials business?
So far, we have not. I think just because there are, again, essential businesses. We're in food. Food's in high demand right now. Restaurants, unfortunately, are not. And so there's just all these consumers that were buying and spending money going out to eat that are now paying for products to come to their house. And so I think everybody in the supply chain, from the co-packer that makes the product to the transportation, let's call it the LTL or the FTL truck that brings it to us, our location, and FedEx who drives it to the end consumer, we're all sort of being aware that we are in very high demand. We're trying to increase our workforce by hiring people that are outside of, that are out of work, that are looking for a paycheck, and trying to manage that demand so that we don't shut down. And so different things like doing A and B shifts so that, God forbid somebody on our staff gets the virus, we wouldn't have to put our whole staff under quarantine. Just doing sort of creative operational tactics to try to stay in business so that, A, we can be able to handle the demand, but also B, we want to provide a livelihood for all of these people that are working for us that are, counting on that paycheck.
And it's also a critical service to the consumer. I mean, it's literally keeping them alive. I mean, it's food.
And we have some products that are, let's just say you were gluten-free. And so, inside of every grocery store is only a certain amount of gluten-free products. You have celiac disease, eating gluten would be a big problem for you, your diet, your kid's diet, whatever. And you go into the grocery store, and now there's this high demand of people going into the grocery store, people stocking up, and now there's no gluten-free products at the grocery store because the shelf space for that item category, it didn't get bigger.
Yes.
So where are you going to go? You're going to go online to look for this demand. So our clients, which were already probably the most popular items online, were the unique categories like gluten-free, organic, all natural. Well, now they're seeing, like, we could see the customer messages that are coming in.
You can say unprecedented again. I'll forgive you.
Thank you. Unprecedented volume for this, but it's what we see is, like, we see these consumer messages that come in for our clients that, like, thank God I could be able to find gluten-free products for my kids online. Thank you for making our day that you're available here. And it's like you said, it's sort of a unintended consequence of the extra demand, but we have clients that are being able to fulfill a large need for people that need their products. So it's pretty special to be part of this right now.
I mean, I'm sure it gives you a lot of meaning, right? I mean, I think on the other side, which I want to talk about is you talked about how all these like other brick and mortar stores are also sort of being forced to come online. So do you have any advice for them? So we're talking specifically about people who are like, grocers or butchers, these small businesses that have their revenue stream cut off. They clearly have a way now with businesses like you and things like Shopify going 90-day free trial, things like that. Like, what would you say to them, like on how they should navigate these times?
Yeah. So I would say, throughout these times, throughout these next, month, 2 months, however long it lasts, and then even in the near future, the advice I would give is don't wait, do it, go faster, go out and try and see what's going to work. I think the best practice is, and what's worked best for me, and it worked for me. So I'll use this as an example. I went online and I was very complex. I just tried everything. I stuck it against the wall, and I was amazed, honestly, on how many items and things I sold online that I couldn't sell in store. So it wasn't necessarily that mix. So, where I was from is this little Rust Belt city, Youngstown, Ohio, in between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. And what sold in town was X, but what sold online was Y. And so I'm glad I threw a bunch of things against the wall to see what stuck. And then as I matured, again, as I got, more mature online, I realized that I couldn't be that complex, and I started simplifying the offerings. And by the time that you actually do have true volume, maybe like let's call it 50 to 100 packages per month, and you're starting to think about using a 3PL, like perishable shipping solutions, by then you're ready to be able to hand it off to someone because you're not too complex. You've started focusing on where your volume growth is. And as you hand off that piece of it, you're able then to focus your marketing on the things that are going to make you money. So I guess go for it, put everything against the wall, see what's starting to stick. And then as you start getting your data coming in on what's working online, then start narrowing and focusing on making those the best offerings and making those profitable for yourself. And that's going to really drive to volume growth.
But I guess in this case, with the quarantine and things like that, would people even be able to do their own deliveries, or would they have to come to guys like you? Because, no one's kind of going outside right now. Like, how would you, so, let's say I'm a butcher. Do I have to work now immediately with a company like yours to get my products out the door?
If your company is still open in food, which all food businesses right now are basically essential. So if you're a butcher right now, if you're a butcher shop, you're still working right now, as long as someone in your facility is not quarantined and, you have the facility shut down.
Right.
For yourself, you can go online and start selling, and you can have a pickup from FedEx come right to your door. And so
great.
What we do offer for perishable shipping solutions, by the way, is we have, plenty of clients that work with us where we actually fulfill for them, but we do offer some consultative services such as, an expanded FedEx rate, being able to get eco-friendly coolers to the back of your butcher shop or grocery store or specialty brand. So there are ways to work with us where we could help you sort of crawl, then walk, and then run so that we could be able to help you throughout the life of you becoming a big e-commerce play.
I like the analogy. Yeah, so I mean, looking at all the news, with Amazon having to hire like 100,000 more people, and Walmart, all these guys doing really well, it sounds like you've got a very positive outlook for small business. It seems like that, like even with getting online, there are ways that small businesses can make an impact and actually grow even during this crisis. Would you agree?
I would. I think that what's been the most rewarding for me, as far as changing careers, I went from being a small business owner to now really, as an entrepreneur, I'm now helping a lot of small businesses be able to grow. And that's been very rewarding for me because I believe our country runs on small business. I think the world runs on small businesses. And if we could be able to have an impact and show small businesses, again, an aggregate amount of data that the large companies already have, and our small businesses can be a little bit more nimble and definitely faster to come to a solution. And so they could be able to come find a hole in the market and be able to plug that up while a large business may be struggling with the major change that just happened in the market.
Yeah. I mean, this is a topic that's very close to my heart as well. So I'm really glad that you've got such a positive outlook on it. Dany, I know you're a very busy guy, and this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much, and especially given how unprecedented these times are. I just used the word again. I think it's good to have some like a voice of reason. So Dany, I think would you be open to having like our listeners get in touch with you if they want to know more about your business? How can they get in touch with you? So
yes, please. My email is dcatullo@goperishable.com. Would be happy to help.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dany, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You're still here, which means you definitely enjoyed that conversation. This is a special COVID-19 e-commerce miniseries to help small business merchants out there get prepared. We're doing a lot more of these, so be the first to know whenever there's a new episode. Just follow DataCue, that's DATACUE on Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Stay safe out there, everybody. Till next time, this is Shahram.